Hi, I'm Rob Wilson. Welcome to this week's HR Chat. With me is Jason Eisenhut, our Vice President of HR.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us this week. So, Jason, I thought we'd do a quick recap of last week. We presented a webinar to a few hundred people on what does the workplace look like post-COVID.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty successful webinar. We had a lot of people attend. Thought it was well received, a lot of good questions. But yeah, we're going to just do a quick recap. These HR chat videos are meant to be short and sweet. So if you're looking for more detail, check us out on the video. But we'll get in that in more detail a little bit later.
And so the first topic was vaccine and how to handle that in the workplace. You know, a lot of people are asking if I'm vaccinated, do I have to wear masks? And can I force my employees to get vaccinated? Do I keep track of them? So it's become a pretty important area, especially as a big percentage of the population is vaccinated.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. The employers still can require proof of vaccination. Mm-hmm. They can incentivize employees to get vaccinated. So as long as it's not so substantial of an incentive that it becomes coercive. But let's say the general consensus is $100 to $500 incentive for employees to get vaccinated. That's okay, and you can ask for proof of vaccination from current employees, from prospective employees. Just be consistent.
Yeah, and what a lot of companies doing is they're paying for your PTO time. So you, especially on the second shot, a lot of people have had reactions to it. So what they're doing is they're letting you take that day off, but not count it against your PTO time. So and then you're back at work the following day. So that's been a big area, and you know, incentives. I mean, when we first were vaccinated, it was like trying to get tickets to a rock concert at 10 in the morning on Ticketmaster, and now you could take a free Uber down to Guaranteed Rate, see a Sox game, and all for free if you get vaccinated at the White Sox game. So it's come a long way in the last few months. So another big area was recruiting and onboarding. So as you know, the employment is tight. There's still so many people out on unemployment that aren't working. A big part of that is the unemployment benefits that are still strong. So you really need to look closely at how are you recruiting, and then as well, how are you onboarding your employees.
Yeah, there's a whole new way of recruiting that is really, if you're having a difficult time finding employees, think creatively. Whether or not that's a new YouTube channel from your company. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be on an iPhone recording a welcome message from the CEO or president, a tour of your office, some quick hits that especially younger generation employees really find useful, and a good recruiting might give you kind of the edge against another competitor that's looking for the same talent.
And then what does that onboarding look like too for your new employees? You know, the most important time for an employee is that first 60 days. What does that 60 days look like, and what are you doing to stand out to make sure that employee becomes a very integrated part of your team?
Yeah, even if you're virtual, in person, make sure the onboarding, chart it out, get a checklist, get kind of touch points along the way. Make sure you're kind of addressing that onboarding kind of upfront.
Yeah, and then the last topic was the new workplace.
So there's a variety of topics that we're seeing. It's pretty interesting, from new cybersecurity policies, because there's so much out there that's maybe even unrelated to COVID, but we saw a lot of unemployment claim fraud claims come in. We're seeing obviously ventilation systems and things along those, safety practices. Employee mental health is really becoming an important topic.
Right.
Whether or not there's stress, anxiety in the workplace, everyone's still so on edge of what do I do? What's the new workplace going to be like? Kind of get those EAP and mental health benefits kind of up and running now to make sure you're addressing those as soon as you can.
And then we've had a lot of clients, when you look at that new workplace that were always in person and went remote, and now a lot of companies are back. Other ones are still coming back this summer. Employees got used to that remote work time, working from their homes, and so companies are having to address how do we want to do that? Are we going to still give them a day remote or 2 days remote, and still getting them back into the office or whatever the business is? And some of those companies have had some of those challenges. Are companies where in the back you may have a warehouse, a plant, construction, a builder, whatever that is, and those employees have been essential and they've been working the whole time live in person, and your clerical staff been working remote. And so you're working through those issues of remote versus in person as everyone tries to get back in person.
Yeah, and we're seeing a variety of different industries. Obviously, the web and tech industry, they're kind of embracing the remote workplace. Even Apple's starting to do some kind of hybrid, but the more traditional workplaces, banking, financial institution, they're coming back in person. So most organizations are going to probably find the sweet spot that's right for your culture and your organization.
Right. So that's just some of the topics we talked about. You can, if you want to see the rebroadcast of it, you can go to employco.com and click on our blog, and all the slides will be there. Or feel free, if you want, reach out. If you just want the slides, reach out to Jason or myself at hr@employco.com or Rob Wilson at employco.com. Happy to forward those over to you. So,
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out our this week's HR chat.